Imagine this. You've just achieved the ultimate dream. After decades of relentless effort, meticulous planning, and countless sacrifices, you've finally hit your financial goal. You're retired early, free from the daily grind, ready to embrace a life of leisure and fulfillment. Instead of shared happiness, you're met with a wave of pure resentment, a shocking realization that your triumph has somehow become their personal affront. This isn't just about money. It's a crucial, uncomfortable lesson about human nature, social dynamics, and why, for some, the path to financial freedom often demands absolute, unwavering secrecy. Get ready, because we're about to expose the hidden, painful truth about why sharing your wealth can unexpectedly shatter your closest relationships. Their faces contorted, not with joy or admiration, but with a mixture of disbelief and something far darker. A lifetime of effort, culminating in freedom, met not with celebration, but with a bitter, envious judgment. It was a bombshell that shattered the festive atmosphere and left the retiree reeling. And then, the words came, repeated with a chilling, almost accusatory tone. It's not fair. And trust me, this is a lesson you cannot afford to learn the hard way. To celebrate this monumental achievement, you host a joyous backyard barbecue, surrounded by your closest friends and neighbors. The air is filled with laughter, the clinking of glasses, the aroma of summer. The overwhelming consensus, echoed by hundreds of people, was unanimous and stark. There is one ironclad rule when it comes to personal finance. It's about protecting your peace, your relationships, and your hard-earned freedom from the corrosive power of envy. Some suggest playing it down. Almost comically, I would have said I retired with $300K and I'm scraping by, but that I valued retiring now over being financially comfortable. Others suggest a more direct, yet still private, approach. I don't talk numbers with people in my life outside my wife for this reason. When confronted with your success, especially if it surpasses their own, it can feel like a direct challenge to their self-worth. As one insightful commenter on the retiree's post so eloquently put it, they believe they're better than you because they made more money. Finding out you have more investments upended their worldview. That was upsetting to them. He learned that discretion was the only way to preserve his relationships. It's a sobering reminder that while you might expect your friends to be your biggest cheerleaders, when it comes to money, silence can truly be golden, preserving relationships far better than full disclosure. Sometimes, the cost of transparency is too high, measured not in dollars, but in lost connections and shattered trust. He learned that people don't actually want to know the truth about your financial success, especially if that truth makes them feel behind, inadequate, or filled with regret about their own choices. He discovered that attempting to inspire others with your discipline can, ironically, backfire into bitter resentment. Another commenter confessed to a painful mistake. I mistakenly told my friend about my investing. The outcome? When that friend didn't achieve the same results, instead of seeking advice or understanding, he lashed out, calling the successful investment strategy gambling. It shatters their narrative, their perceived superiority, their comfortable assumptions about life's fairness. Be a closet millionaire. That's the goal. How will you navigate the complex social landscape of wealth? What steps will you take to protect your peace, your friendships, and your quiet triumph? The journey to financial freedom is often solitary, and sometimes so is the celebration. Choose wisely who you share your numbers with, because the cost of transparency might be far greater than you ever imagined. True financial freedom, it turns out, often means a quiet celebration, a private victory, shared only with those who truly understand and genuinely support your journey, without reservation or envy. If people ask, I just say I'm an asset manager of my own assets. Your hard-earned success, achieved through discipline and foresight, can unintentionally expose uncomfortable truths about others' choices and priorities. And not everyone possesses the emotional maturity or self-awareness to handle that gracefully. You might believe your inner circle, your ride-or-die friends, would be your biggest cheerleaders, sharing in every triumph. But when it comes to money, that assumption can be tragically naive. It's a mirror they don't want to look into, and you, the successful one, become the target of their discomfort. The common thread? Don't give anyone a reason to resent your success, because once that seed of envy is planted, it can poison even the longest-standing friendships. It's a painful truth, but a crucial one for anyone building significant wealth. As one Redditor powerfully stated, inevitably, someone will resent it. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but a necessary one. It's a golden rule, often learned the hard way. Never disclose your income or net worth to friends, acquaintances, or even family, ever. It was a painful, almost desperate indictment of their own past financial decisions. Faced with the undeniable evidence of his success, achieved through methods they could have also pursued, they reacted not with self-reflection or inspiration, but with raw, unadulterated resentment. It's a harsh truth. People often resent what they could have had, but didn't prioritize. The retiree later revealed a crucial detail. The very friends who reacted with such profound bitterness had actually earned more than he did throughout their careers. The answer lies in a profound, often painful disconnect in human perception. Most people don't see the sacrifices you've made to get where you are. They only see the outcome. They don't witness the years of disciplined budgeting, the countless times you said no to impulse buys, the deferred gratification, the conscious choices to save instead of spend. They don't see the late nights researching investments, the early mornings dedicated to side hustles, or the unwavering commitment to a long-term vision. Let that sink in. This wasn't about him being handed a golden ticket, inheriting wealth, or having some inherent, unfair advantage. This was about something far more fundamental: choices. To mark this life-altering milestone, he and his wife decided on a classic American celebration, a summer barbecue. I made a conscientious decision a long time ago to shoot for retirement in my mid-50s and worked hard to do so. His early retirement wasn't a stroke of luck or a random outcome. It was the direct, undeniable result of years, even decades, of disciplined saving, meticulous planning, and often significant sacrifice. It meant saying no to impulse buys, prioritizing investments over lavish vacations, and consistently living below his means. Their guests were friends and neighbors, people of a similar age, many of whom had shared decades of life's ups and downs with them. You're expecting congratulations, shared joy, maybe even a spark of inspiration. But then, the conversation shifts. A simple, honest answer about your hard-earned savings unleashes something unexpected, something chilly. Section 1, the barbecue bombshell. A retirement number that begged to share our story begins with a 57-year-old man, a diligent worker who, after 36 years in the workforce, finally reached his financial Everest, early retirement. The evening flowed smoothly until the conversation, as it often does in these circles, naturally drifted towards future plans and, eventually, to savings. The response was immediate, and it was devastating. Two of his longtime friends, people he had shared countless memories with, became visibly upset. Think about that moment. Section 2, the unseen choices, sacrifice versus spending. What makes this reaction even more perplexing, even more infuriating, is the stark reality behind it. They made different choices, he explained, with a quiet dignity. That it's not fair sentiment wasn't a genuine cry for justice or equality. Section 3, the golden rule of wealth, never share your number. This retiree's painful experience quickly resonated across the internet, particularly within communities dedicated to financial independence and early retirement. Often known as FIRE, this philosophy, often dubbed stealth wealth, isn't about being deceptive or dishonest. So, how do you navigate these awkward conversations? Practical strategies abound. Section 4, the envy epidemic, only seeing outcome, not sacrifice. Why does this phenomenon occur? Why do some people react with such visceral bitterness to another's financial success? Instead, envy, that insidious emotion, often blindsides curiosity and genuine happiness. Another person's comment was even more blunt, yet undeniably true. Jealousy is an ugly color, but it is some people's fashion choice. Section 5, the friend betrayal. Even close bonds can break. The heartbreaking reality illuminated by this retiree's story, and countless others like it, is that even the closest, most cherished friendships are not immune to the corrosive power of financial envy. One early retiree, who managed to leave work at a remarkably young age of 33, shared a similar, sobering tale. I don't talk numbers with people in my life outside my wife for this reason. The lesson here is painfully clear and profoundly difficult. Even close bonds can strain, crack, or completely break when faced with financial disparities. Conclusion, the quiet millionaire, protecting your peace. The early retiree, who simply expected congratulations and shared joy, left his own barbecue that day with a harsh, unforgettable lesson. The overwhelming advice from those who have successfully navigated the path to financial independence is simple, yet profoundly wise. People get weird. But this leaves us with a profound, unsettling question. Is financial independence truly liberating if you can't openly celebrate it with the people you care about? How will you navigate the complex social landscape of wealth? What steps will you take to protect your peace, your friendships, and your quiet triumph? The journey to financial freedom is often solitary, and sometimes so is the celebration. Choose wisely who you share your numbers with, because the cost of transparency might be far greater than you ever imagined.